And we're back. Part 2, Mike Cernovich, Danger and Play. Guerrilla Mindset. Oh, man, we had, 50,000 people. Everybody was live. We were going to do a Cernothon to hit 100,000. And then my phone overheated. All right, so we're going to talk to some dissident people. Dissident people, controversial people. So if you're edgy, who do you want me to call? Who do you want me to call live? By the way, I had some very generous donations come in for the Cernovich Media Empire. $1,000, thank you. $25, $50, $100. Very, 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 very generous. The guy sent me 1,000, said, bring down those media bastards. So thank you very much for that. We're going to call Ricky Vaughn. Do you guys want to talk to Ricky Vaughn? Do you want to talk to Ricky Vaughn live? I can make it happen. But I'm only going to do it if you want me to. I give the people, the content mindset is about giving the people what they want. All right, so you want me to call Ricky Vaughn? Okay. Since you want me to do it, then I'll do it. I'll call Ricky Vaughn. Hey, is this Ricky Vaughn?
That's right.
All right, we're live in studio with Ricky Vaughn. Our earlier Periscope was shut down. They couldn't handle the banter. So hopefully it doesn't get shut down. All right, Ricky Vaughn, what's going on?
Not much, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. The people.
How are you? Exciting things happening.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Tell the people what's going on. You've been quiet on Twitter lately.
Yeah, I got banned off Twitter, and I just got an email confirming that my account is dead. It will not be restored.
Okay, so breaking news, live from Ricky Vaughn. Ricky Vaughn has been not merely suspended from Twitter, but he appealed the process and his account will not be restored. Is that right, Ricky Vaughn?
That's correct, 100%.
100%. So Ricky Vaughn is gone from Twitter for good. You heard it here now. Okay, so let's talk more about what you've been up to, what your vision is. Where can they read about you now?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Gab right now under the same handle that I was on under Twitter.
Okay.
And I've been posting on Facebook, facebook.com/deplorablevaughn.
Okay.
You can find me there. And we got a website coming up in the works we can see what happens with it. The goal is to just launch it and take it where it needs to go based on, just want to bring good content to the people.
Are you following CampBot's 7 Hidden Pillars of Content?
CampBot?
Do you know about the 7 pillars of the content mindset?
I don't know the 7 pillars specifically, but I know CampBot.
So he knows about the content. So will you be giving good content to the people? That's really what we're getting at.
That's the only goal, absolutely.
Okay, so
that's the entire point.
Okay, what kind of content will it be? Long form, short form, all the above? What's going on?
All the above. I want to flesh out thoughts in a more, medium or long form. We'll see if we can do stuff like podcast interviews with other people, maybe launch a podcast. I got a friend that's an artist who might be willing to, make art that we can auction off, to fund some of these things that we're going to be doing. So, exciting stuff. So
what kind of art? Degenerate art? Good art?
Good art, definitely. You know how they had the whole naked Emperor Trump?
Uh-huh.
Well, my friend wants to make a statue, like some kind of sculpture statue of Trump. we got like a suit of armor and maybe wearing the St. George's Cross or something and put it in, the middle of Union Square or Times Square or something. That kind of stuff.
Beautiful. So here's my idea. Tell me if you can round up some people to do it.
Okay, let's hear it.
The next move in the content mindset is we get shirts printed out, Bill Clinton is a rapist, or anti-Hillary shirts. We have people go to Union Square, New York, or we have them go to a Clinton rally, 20, 30, 40, 50 people. They all put on a shirt, flash mob it, take pictures, and then they leave. What do you think about that?
I like it. I think it's a good idea. Absolutely.
We need to take the fight.
Like it.
We need to take the fight to the enemy, and we need to take it to their rallies, their talks. They protest our shit. It's time for us to jam up their events. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. You make the enemy play by their rules, like Saul Alinsky would say. So, we got to play by their rules and beat them at their game. So, yeah, I agree 100%.
Now, do you know, did Twitter give you a reason why they banned you?
They said it was related to targeted abuse, participating in targeted abuse.
Targeted abuse of who? Who did you abuse?
Well, the way they write the rules, responding to someone's tweet could be abuse, right?
Right, yes.
So who the hell knows?
Yeah, so Ricky makes a great point, which is that I have to be careful. It's weird. Twitter has made me a segregationist because if I respond to a black person's tweet or a woman's tweet, by Twitter's definition, I would be imposing my white privilege on them. So by Twitter's rules, you're just not allowed to talk to black people.
Oh yeah, exactly. You might trigger them.
It's ironic.
It might be bullying. Could be interpreted as bullying.
The new segregation. So what? People have questions about you. Do you want to talk about your background? Do you want to keep that private? What's going on?
Not too deep into the background. We answer a few questions, surface questions, but yeah, I prefer talking about other, what's going on.
What book are you reading right now?
I was reading Bowling Alone.
By who?
Bowling Alone by Robert Putnam.
Okay, Bowling Alone by Robert Putnam. Good book. That came out sort of my generation. What's your takeaway from that book?
The takeaway is that basically all the sort of anxieties and fears that we're seeing now have really arisen from us sort of abandoning our communities. Our sense of belonging really comes from belonging to a group, a community. Sort of the individualism is sort of a fool's errand. It's sort of like fool's gold. So we have to get back to basically belonging to groups, where we can find meaning. And the whole, radical, individualist, hedonistic lifestyle, probably we need to move away from that, essentially.
So rootless cosmopolitan is not the way to be happy and healthy in life.
Exactly. And if you want to see any proof, just look at 30% of young women are on antidepressants. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Okay, so right now, if they want to find your content, where's the best place to find your content?
I'm putting a lot of stuff on Facebook. I would go to Facebook.
Okay. What's the URL again?
Gab. Facebook and Gab.
Okay, gab.ai/RICKYVAUGHN 99. Are there underspaces or anything like that?
There's an underscore between Ricky and Vaughn.
Okay. So
there's an underscore.
Okay, so it's Ricky_Vaughn 99, and he's at gab.ai, where they have free speech, and he's also on Twitter. All right, you have any closing words for the people?
Keep fighting. I think we're going to win this election. I think that their situation is much more dire than they're letting on, which is why they're dumping everything on them.
Well, that's
keep fighting through this.
Well, go ahead. That's what I think is interesting. Is it sure that if they think Trump is winning, they sure aren't fighting like they've won. Isn't that interesting?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, they're in big trouble. They're trying to hold this facade. If they can sort of bury Trump, they can win the election. If they can demoralize his supporters, then they can keep turnout down. But as it stands now, if we turn out, we're going to win the election. I believe that. Because I think Trump's going to perform in the third debate like he did in the second debate.
Beautiful. I agree. So don't be demoralized, people. All right, thanks for calling in, Rick.
All right, thanks a lot, man. Take it easy.
All right, so you heard just from Ricky Vaughn. Breaking news, Cernovich exclusive. And you just found out that Ricky Vaughn was permanently banned from Twitter. Permanently banned. I like how people are saying, I called him. Thanks. I'm on a fucking Skype connection, guys. Give me a break here. Give me a break. Give me a break. I'm on a Skype on my MacBook with an iPhone. But you can find him. Do you guys want to talk to Cassandra? All right, so we'll talk to Julian, and then we're doing a Cernothon. So I hit 50,000 people on my first half. I was going to keep going to 100,000, but my phone shut down on me. It overheated. Couldn't handle the banter. So we'll call somebody else now.
Hello?
Julian!
Hey.
Mike Cernovich, Danger Play, Gorilla Mindset. How are you?
Of course. Hi, Mike.
Good.
I'm good.
All right, we're on Periscope. I think you're doing good work. Tell the people who you are and what you've been up to.
I'm Julian. I write for Regated. I love Regated.
What's Regated?
Last May.
What's Regated?
And what we're doing is Regated is a website. It's regated.com. We're a news site that's trying to kind of counterbalance, give a counter narrative to what's going on in the mainstream media. I don't know if we should call it that anymore. But yeah, we're a site that tries to publish what we know, what we think is true, and what we can confirm is true. And we're having a blast doing it.
So the website is regated.com.
regated.com. Like if you had a beautiful country and you had to put a gate back around it, it would be regated.
So there you go. So regated. And what kind of stories have you guys been handling? I know I did an interview with you guys, and I know that you covered the bombing in New York also. You were there for the bombing in New York, right?
Yeah, me and a co-founder from the site. Well, actually, Mike, that was you, and you had tweeted something like, "Who can cover this?" And I saw your tweet, but I heard. I mean, the second I heard that, I ran over to the site of the bombing. But yeah, me and the co-founder, he writes under Victor Smith, and we ran over and we were sending you videos. We wanted to get you the account first. We were worried about people saying it was a gas leak. So we got there right away, but we try to cover stuff as fast as we can. We try to amplify stuff. We're on Apple News. We're on Google News. We want to make sure, like, if something needs to be covered, we can put it out there as quickly as possible. And our main goal is just spreading the truth during not just an election full of lies, but what we think might be a future full of lies. And I don't know. That's what we're looking to do. We're trying to just write what we believe is the closest thing to the truth and make sure it continues.
Now,
and spreads.
I've been telling people that there are some interesting anti-Hillary videos coming out in the next couple of days. Is that true?
That's very true. The funny thing about Hillary is every time she does something, she always ends up looking like a hypocrite. And my idea is that she does stuff in advance to kind of try to cover for her own hide. But it's not from Regated specifically, but we know for a fact that certain groups are working to expose certain behind-the-scenes videos. And these are going to be coming out tomorrow, the day after, and for days beyond that. It's going to be really, really, really good. So, really juicy stuff.
Really juicy.
Like a hypocrite.
Okay, so we got it'll make Hillary look like a hypocrite.
Yeah.
So
beyond.
Okay. So yeah, he can't tease it out, but so Julian's good to go. Julian you're at regated.com, right? You have anything else to tell him?
No, I mean,
I love what we're doing. I think we're fighting a war, we're winning it, and I love being part of this. I love talking to you, Mike, and I hope we continue breaking news the way we do. And thank you for calling me.
There you go. Julian is give him your Twitter handle so they can follow you on Twitter.
It's Julian G. Wan, Juliang, like Gamma, WAN. I'm a little bit Chinese, so my last name is Wan, WAN.
There you go. Julian G. Wan. He's at Twitter. Is he Regated? Thanks so much, you guys, for the future. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Have a great night.
All right, so you just heard from Julian G. Wan. And now we're going to call Jim Hoft. We're going to call Jim Hoft to the Gateway Pundit because, I don't know, what the fuck else am I going to do? what else am I going to do on a Monday? I don't even know what day it is anymore. So we're calling Jim Hoft to the Gateway Pundit.
Hello.
Jim, you're live on Periscope. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, so, a lot of these people, I said, who do they want me to call? And your name came up. So, the people want to hear from you. What's going on at Gateway Pundit? What have you been up to?
Hey, it looks like you've been working on a pretty big story there, huh?
Yeah, but I like you to break that kind of news.
I appreciate that. I spoke with our mutual contact, and he's pretty convinced that it was Dan Senor, huh? And you're talking about that too tonight?
Yep, exactly. So right now, Jim is working on investigating the GOP sabotage story. Who leaked the Billy Bush tapes? And so we have sources saying that it was Paul Ryan's people, right?
Right. And you know what's interesting too, and you tweeted this on Friday, and I tweeted it too. How it was just such a coincidence that Paul Ryan finally decided to hold a rally with Donald Trump, and after months, right, and dissing him for months. So he's going to hold a rally with Trump on Saturday, and this broke on Friday, and then Paul Ryan comes out and completely slams Donald Trump, makes headlines, cancels the rally, embarrasses Trump, and he leads a charge to try to have Trump step down, which I don't even know the legalities of that, Michael, but I don't even know if they could do that legally and have Pence, put on all the ballots. The other thing that's interesting then is Paul Ryan today, after Donald Trump's phenomenal performance last night, Paul Ryan this morning changes the subject by inserting himself and sabotaging Trump's victory. So it makes you wonder, it makes it, sound very logical that it was a Republican insider who sabotaged Trump with his tape, likely Paul Ryan. And even Jerry Falwell Jr. today mentioned that he thinks it might be a GOP insider. Right now all the arrows are pointing at Paul Ryan and Dan Senor.
Yeah, I don't believe in coincidences anymore this election. And as you said, interesting coincidence that Saturday morning they're supposed to give a talk together, and then Friday night that breaks. Interesting coincidence.
Yep, for the first time they're going to join hands and come together, and then it's blown apart on Friday night with that tape that somebody's been holding for months. And Mike, you know as well as I do, those things don't just pop up. It was planned. Somebody was holding that. They were probably shopping it around, and it was all planned to the day when this was going to come out to try to destroy Donald Trump.
Right, and Dan Senor is still pushing the video out even after the Trump win at the debate last night, which I find interesting.
Isn't that something? I'm having a very difficult time trying to understand some of these never-Trumpers, And I'm not sure. I know he was a political advisor to Paul Ryan. I'm not sure where that stands today, but if he is still advising or has any connection to Paul Ryan, this should be enough to have Paul Ryan resign as far as I'm concerned.
Well, Lou Dobbs even said that Lou Dobbs is asking his viewers if Paul Ryan should resign, and overwhelmingly people are saying yes.
Good. He's awful.
Yeah.
He's awful.
We got to get rid. So what's coming up from Gateway Pundit? You've been killing the game, Jim. You've been doing a great job.
Oh, thanks a lot, and of course, I appreciate all of your tips and all of your the work that you do, because I think half the stories up on Drudge started somewhere on the Cernovich Twitter feed, somewhere. So I appreciate that. I think this story right here is huge. This is what I'm trying to put together. You know, obviously there's a lot of questions still about it. Right now, all I can say is it's a rumor. It's a report that Dan Senor is behind this, but it is interesting that he's been tweeting about this Friday video all day today after Trump's performance last night. So we've never seen anything like it. I know here in St. Louis, a story locally, Michael, is the local representative. Her name is Ann Wagner. She came out this weekend, and she was one of the Never Trumpers to, say she could no longer endorse Donald Trump. I don't remember her actually endorsing Trump. She's been pretty silent this whole year.
Right.
She supported Ted Cruz in the primary, but then she's one of these people who comes out, out of nowhere to condemn Donald Trump and say she can no longer endorse him, as if she's been a huge fan of his, which, if you look at this list of people, Mike Lee, all these other jackasses, they haven't been supporting Trump at all. They've been bashing him all year long. But the media won't tell you that. You know that. I know that. The media is not being honest with the American public. They're making it sound like these are all, people who have been on the Trump team and in his inner circle who are standing up and saying that they can no longer stand with him. None of these people are that way. They've been against him most all year. Well, Ann Wagner, she has ambitions to run for senator here in Missouri against Claire McCaskill, and I think she really shot herself in the foot. A lot of people here in Missouri are very upset that she did this, and she had no reason to do it. She's in a lock. She's in a district that's a solid Republican district. She could have kept her mouth shut, but for some reason she came out and said that she, can no longer endorse Donald Trump. I don't understand it, Mike. I don't understand why these politicians do stuff like that.
Oh, well,
I think she shot herself. I think she shot herself in the foot.
Well, you understand, we can't name the person, but one of the people behind the tape is a billionaire, isn't that right?
That's correct, yep.
So we know why they're doing this. It's all about money.
Well, that's true. And for Paul Ryan, I think it's personal ambition. He's not very happy that people, that Trump won. Trump has a huge chance of winning the election, and that kind of puts Paul's personal ambitions on the back burner, even though he says he doesn't have these ambitions, but his actions are speaking louder than his words right now.
Well, great. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. What's your Twitter handle?
It's at Gateway Pundit.
At Gateway Pundit, and your website is thegatewaypundit.com?
That's right, Mike.
All right, Jim.
Thank you for all your help, and I appreciate it tremendously.
It was a pleasure.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right, so that was Jim Hoft of the Gateway Pundit, which is sort of my go-to website. He stays on top of everything. He's like me. He's kind of a madman. He works crazy hours, and he does a lot of cool stuff where it's a little bit original reporting, but it's a lot of it just getting the information out there, which is so needed and very valuable, very, very important work. So, yeah, that's at Gateway Pundit is his handle, and his website is thegatewaypundit.com. And earlier before that, we spoke to Julian G. Wan, or Wan, W-W-A-N. So maybe we can call, what's up with my buddy Jack? So we'll see if we can call a friend of mine, Jack. Man, I'm just here all night, What are you going to do, What the hell? This is kind of pretty much my life. It's interesting because there's this caricature of this ranting, whatever. But I live a pretty low-key life. All right, let's call Jack Pasovic. See if he can get him to pick up. Oh, so Milo texted me. Okay, so Milo can't talk.
Hello?
Hey, Jack, Mike Cernovich here, DangerPlay.com, Gorilla Mindset. Is it Jack Pasovic?
Yeah, Mike, how you doing?
Hey, good, dude. So we're live on Periscope right now, and people want to watch. And what's new, man? What's going on in Team Trump? We're talking about sabotage within the GOP.
Well, a lot of stuff's been going on. I was making my rounds in Pennsylvania today trying to find out whether or not the Pennsylvania offices were still good for Trump or whether or not was. We've heard about what happened in Virginia earlier today, and pretty crazy what happened down there. Pennsylvania, I got to tell you, it still looks pretty good.
Okay, so Pennsylvania, what do you mean by Pennsylvania looks good?
So I went by a bunch of the Trump offices. I talked to a lot of people. People are on the ground. People are going to the Trump offices. They're still open. The staffers are still there. People are knocking on doors. And so while there's been a lot of talk sort of at the higher levels of congressional offices and staff and Senate offices, there's still been a lot less of this at the ground level. At the ground level, it's business as usual. The ground game's firing. People are fired up. The offices are open. And, yeah, it's business as usual.
So for people who haven't heard of you, what's your name? Who are you? What are you doing? Etc.
Yeah, so I'm Jack Pasovic. I'm the Special Projects Director for Citizens for Trump. You can find us at citizensfortrump.com, sort of a national grassroots organization. We are not part of the campaign. We are parallel to the campaign. We have relationships with Roger Stone, among other folks in the political world. And we like to go and go places where the campaign can't and do things on the ground that the campaign can't do for one reason or another. And we try to sort of fill that hole.
So you're Jack Pasovic? Spell that for him.
Pasovic. Sure, if you go to Twitter, it's at Jack, Jack, Posobiec.
And you're in Pennsylvania. Is that where you're based out of right now?
I'm originally from Pennsylvania, so I do a lot of work there, but I'm based out of D.C.
Do you think Trump is going to win Pennsylvania?
We got some analytics earlier today, and that's kind of what our big conference call was on data analytics. And we're seeing a huge swell of Trump support in Pennsylvania and Virginia that we hadn't seen before, but a lot of it coming out now with the working class. Sort of the workers, the people, truck drivers, union guys. A great just anecdotal kind of story about that. So the office in Pennsylvania, right, it's across the street from a steel mill. Now, so these unions, the leaders are all saying, well, we've got to go for Hillary, and, that's what the leadership is. But every day, the workers come across the street and ask for Trump signs.
Okay, so do you have anything else?
And that's the kind of thing we're seeing in the data as well.
Okay, so in other words, the last time I had internal polling leaked to me from the highest levels of the campaign, it showed that the race was tied. Is that, I know you can't go on the record, is that consistent, though, with what you're hearing or seeing or based on your judgment?
It is, but at the same time, our last really good polling numbers came in before all of the weekend, and now the second debate has happened. So we haven't had a really good look at the way that's affected things. But our sort of hot take on it is that, honestly, between him doing so well in the debate and that tape being such a non-issue, he's got to have gone up.
Yeah, the way the media is behaving, it seems like they know the truth because Trump is actually ahead.
Well, it's a psyop. It's a complete psyop. And look at it this way. And I know you know about this.
Wait. Talk about, what is a psyop?
So psyop is a psychological operation. These are things that have been used by CIA, by the government, by the military, our military, other militaries, all throughout the history. And the attempt is to defeat your opponent by demoralizing their supporters. by going to them and tricking them essentially into thinking that a different reality is true than what's actually going on. And because of that, it weakens their will to actually want to fight. And the minute you do that, you've basically broken their back, and then they can be defeated. Regardless of if they had just fought ahead, they would have easily won.
And how are we responding to their psyop?
So the first things first is putting Mr. Trump out there and showing him with Pence, showing that everything is good, that everything they've said has been a complete lie. If you remember, first of all, they were saying that Trump was about to drop out. The very first couple media reports that were coming said Trump was about to drop out. That was a complete joke. So they dropped that one. And then they hopped up with this Pence is going to drop out rumor. And there were people, and I got some bad information on that as well, because there were people within the party, even within the Republican Party, pushing this lie that Pence was going to drop out all of a sudden. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me. He's at a fundraiser that night. He just did a rally tonight. Why would Pence drop out? He knew what he was going to sign up for. He knew it was going to come in October. But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to sow these lies and come at you from sideways because they know Trump's ahead. And think of it this way, right? Why would they be fighting this hard, the media, Hillary, and the establishment of both parties, if Trump were losing? If he were really losing, why would they be hitting him this hard?
That's what I've been telling people is when you've won, you have won. When you're desperate, the media and the GOP elite especially, they're not fighting like they've won. They are fighting like they are desperate.
I can even tell you that it's been told to me by a trusted source that there are people around in the GOP saying that Trump is going. This is how bad they are, because they're talking to their echo chambers as well. And you're going to laugh when I tell you this, that they're saying that Trump is gone and Paul Ryan is the future.
They wish.
They're saying Paul Ryan 2020, and I'm like, who are you talking to, man?
Well, that's what they want. That's why we were talking earlier. We have sources reporting that the Billy Bush tape actually came from Paul Ryan's people. Have you heard anything about that?
All I will say is it does not surprise me that there was a Bush at the center of all of this.
Yep, that's what I'll say too. All right, Jack, you have any closing words for the people? How can they find you? Message of encouragement.
So guys, go out and check out citizensfortrump.com. Go to my Twitter, Jack Posobiec, Posobiec. I tweet a lot. I actually haven't been tweeting a lot today, guys, and I'll tell you why. Is because my phone has been ringing off the hook. We have so much in store for October. We have so much in store for the next debate. We've got so much in store for the ground game that we're putting together, the poll watching that we're putting together to make sure any of this other stuff
Okay,
happens.
well.
I'll tell you a few more.
No. I'm going to interrupt you because the people want to hear about the ground game. The GOP has fucked over the ground game. What are we going to do? People are worried. People are afraid. What do you have to say to them?
Citizens for Trump, working together with Roger Stone and his Stop the Steal organization,
Okay.
have put together a list of targeted areas in targeted states.
Okay.
Precincts and polling areas where we've noticed have had the most volatility. And what I mean by that is the areas that have the greatest propensity to switch from either Republican or Democrat, depending on what election it might be. So we think that if those areas are the ones that we hit in terms of phone calling, door knocking, and making sure that we have the polls covered on Election Day, I actually talked to a number of undecided voters in these areas, and believe it or not, these people are actually undecided. I talked to a lady today. She lives in a middle class household, but she recently lost her job. She's on food stamps now, taking care of her daughter who has autism, and she says, I don't know what side I'm on with, but at least with Trump, I know that I'm going to get the guy he says he is, whereas Hillary is nothing but lies. So you go in these areas and you start talking to these people, and you're actually making a difference.
So there is a ground game. There's going to be poll watchers. There's going to be get out the vote drives. They're on it. Okay, but not from the GOP, though. Just the GOP, not from the GOP, but from the grassroots people like you guys.
There are. And if you go to citizensfortrump.com, you can find out all about our ground game. You sign up. We get you LinkedIn. We're going to get you LinkedIn with. We're going to be doing exit polling, and we're going to do exit polling a little bit differently. I don't want to reveal publicly just how we're going to do it yet. Maybe you and I can talk offline. But it's going to be a little bit different than most people usually do exit polling. And it's designed. I'll tell you this though. Our exit polling is designed in such a way to catch them if they're trying to defraud the voters and change votes.
Okay, great. So people want to hear that. Thanks. So where can they find you? Jack Posobiec?
Jack Posobiec, Posobiec, right on Twitter. And then citizensfortrump.com, and also Citizens for Trump on Facebook if you guys still use Facebook.
Okay, cool. There you go. Thanks a lot. So you heard from Jack Posobiec. Thanks so much, Jack.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
So there you go. People are doing things. Citizensfortrump.com. We got movement. You know, we got stuff going on. The we're working on it. Let me see. Do I have Cassandra's number? Who do you guys want me to talk to now? Yeah. So is Cassandra? Let me find Cassandra. I don't do a very good job of numbers. All right. So let me see if I can find her number. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to call her real quick. We'll see if she picks up. So we just heard from Jack Posobiec. We heard from Jim Hoff, Gateway Pundit. We heard from Julian G. Wan. We're busy. All right, so now we're going to call. I don't have Sam Hyde's number. Tell Sam Hyde to DM me his number. I'm going to be up here for a while. I'm not going anywhere. We'll tell.
Hello.
Hey, this is Mike Cernovich from Danger and Play, Gorilla Mindset. Is this Cassandra?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, we're live on Periscope, and I'm doing like a Cernothon. I'm just going to keep going until I hit 100,000 viewers. And I said, who do you want me to talk to? And people said, Cassandra. So,
I'm flattered.
So tell them who you are, what you've been up to, and whatever.
Well, I'm Cassandra, Cassandra Fairbanks. It's Cassandra Rules on Twitter. I've been pissing off pretty much everybody. That's about it.
Well, you were a Bernie supporter, right?
Yeah, I was originally supporting Bernie Sanders. I switched once we realized that this thing was rigged and it was going to Clinton. It was a little bit before the DNC.
So talk more about that. So you were pro-Bernie, and then you realized that the primary was rigged for Hillary. Is that right?
Right. Well, I started to take Trump a little more seriously after Orlando happened, when Bernie Sanders joined with all the other idiot Democrats and went and sat on the floor of the House for gun control in response to terrorism. And, it was a guy who could have easily passed any background check. He was a terrorist. Guns weren't the issue. So I got pretty disenchanted with the Democrats around then, and full steam ahead for Trump.
And you're a journalist, right?
Yeah, I write for Sputnik News and for We Are Change, and freelance for a few other websites here and there.
Okay, so as a journalist, because we were together at the RNC, the DNC, could you tell the people listening the difference between the RNC and the DNC from a journalist standpoint?
Oh, there's so many differences. Well, in Cleveland at the RNC, everything was very central. The protests, the places to go eat, the media entrance where everybody went into the RNC, everything was very easy to get around. It was very organized. The protests were very small, but if a protest did happen, it was going to be in one of two places, either at the media entrance or at this park. Press was free to come and go to it as they pleased, no intimidation, no problems. The DNC was very different. The protests were miles away from the actual convention, and it was blocked off by like a maze of gates, so that if you were inside the convention and a protest started, you couldn't get out to the protest very easily. Even if you had the press credentials, you couldn't go out the media entrance where the protests were. They deliberately designed it so that the press would have a very difficult time getting out to the protests, which were much bigger than the ones at the RNC.
Would it be fair to say then that if you believe in free speech and the free press, actually Republicans were more respectful of the First Amendment than Democrats were?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't even comparable. Like, the RNC absolutely respected press significantly more. They let you actually go into the convention. You could go in and out freely. I mean, you had to do the light search, but it was very simple. Everything was easy. They made sure that press could get where they needed to go. Very accommodating. The Democrats had me running on a wild goose chase just to get into the convention, even though I was credentialed for it and had Secret Service clearance. I couldn't even get into the actual convention for the last 3 days.
Now,
2 days, I'm sorry.
Now, the protests were different, too. Could you maybe – I know you're busy, so I'll let you go here in a minute. But the protests were different, too. Maybe you could tell the people how they were different?
Well, there was a lot more people. There were, just scattered groups of protesters at the RNC. You had RevCom, who parachuted into everything. They were a little communist cult. Terrible. But they were there, and then maybe a handful of other people. At the DNC, it was like a revolt. There was marches happening all the time. There were hundreds of people. The gates got pushed down at one point. It was crazy. I mean, tons of protests, and you barely saw any of it on the news. I mean, there were protests inside the convention center, not even just outside.
Delegates, right? Wasn't it something like 2,000 Bernie delegates walked out of the DNC, but the media covered that up?
Yeah, they all walked out and stormed the press area to force them to cover it, and they still didn't cover it.
Wow.
The half of the convention center walked out.
So this is all true. Again, eyewitness report. I don't make any of this up. So you're at Twitter, Cassandra Rules. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you have anything else to say to the people before I let you go?
No, I'll come watch your Periscope.
All right. So that was Cassandra Fairbanks. Her Twitter is at Cassandra Rules. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks for calling.
All right, so that was Cassandra Fairbanks. Her Twitter is Cassandra Rules, and we just talked to her about media hoaxes at the DNC and RNC. So now you're starting to see a theme, right? A theme coming together, which is media bias, media hoaxes, GOP sabotage. We're at this just isn't an election. We have taking on the hoaxing media, Sick Hillary's operatives, and we have to take on the GOP. And we're taking on conservative media, like everywhere you go. Paul Nealon, have Paul Nealon call me. If you guys want me to talk to anybody, just tell them, tweet at them and just say, Paul Nealon. Tweet at them, and I'll call anybody. I'm going to be here for a while, so hold on with me. So we'll call, who else do you guys want to talk about? I'm not going anywhere. Let me see if here we go. All right, so we'll call, I'll check my direct messages. I don't have anything from Sam Hyde, so I don't know where, I would like to talk to Sam Hyde. Sam Hyde would be a good talk. All right, so we'll talk to, here we go. Let's find him. We'll talk about MAGA 3X. Roger Stone, I think, is asleep right now. So I was supposed to be on Roger Stone's podcast. I was going to be on Roger Stone's podcast last Thursday, but our schedules didn't align. So, but I'm going to be on the Stone Cold Truth, Roger Stone's podcast. True. All right, so we're going to talk about MAGA 3X. So here we go. We'll talk about MAGA 3X, what it is, you know, everything about it, yeah, etc. Here we go.
Hello.
Hey, it's Mike Stearns from Danger Play, Gorilla Mindset. How are you today?
Hey, what's up, Mike? What's going on?
You know, we're just doing a live sort of Cernothon. I'm going to keep talking until I hit 100,000 viewers. My first one was 50,000, and then my phone shut down, so I'm at about 17,000 now. So let's talk about MAGA 3X and what MAGA 3X is.
Sure. Yeah. Well, this is Baked Alaska. What's up, guys?
So tell them
If
your user handle. Branding Air. What's your user handle?
At Baked Alaska. Very simple. It's like the dessert,
Okay.
you know?
At Baked
from
Alaska.
Alaska.
So at Baked
At
Alaska's
Baked Alaska.
live, and you're talking about what? MAGA 3X.
Yep, MAGA 3X. So we came up with the concept called MAGA 3X to really improve the ground game of what we're doing to, you know, for the Trump campaign. We realized that the campaign itself hadn't put together, you know, a massive ground game, a massive grassroots game. But there's people out there that want to do things, that want to go out for Trump. And he hasn't invested in a lot of states where people want to be helping out. So we came up with the concept MAGA 3X, and it's a way where you can bring 3 more people to the polls, register 3 more people, and so you're basically multiplying your vote, you know, times 3, times 4, times 7, as much as you can do. So we are asking for Trump supporters to pledge to at least bring 3 and increase your vote, and of course do more. So we have a Twitter handle at MAGA3X and MAGA3X.com where you can pledge, and it's just a cool way to, you know, get excited about Trump. And there's so many people out there that, you know, are complacent. Like, I've already got like 5 friends, and they're like, yeah, I like Trump, but no, I'm not really voting. Like, it sounds hard, or they don't know how to do it. And I'm like, bro, it takes 30 seconds. You can do it online. This is a really, really important election. You know, even if your state, you know, even if you think, you know, Trump's not going to win your state, it doesn't matter. Like, the polls are rigged. So many things, you know, the establishment is completely against Trump. We have to do everything we can. They're going to be pulling dirty tricks out of their hat, left and right. We have to do everything we can to get as many people out to the polls. And if the system tries to rig or do something fishy, with the amount of people we have out there, you know, it's going to be hard for them to deny it. So that's why we did it.
Okay, so what are you doing? Are you doing anything with social media? How are you getting people together, you know, etc.?
Yeah. So when you sign up on MAGA3X.com, we're sending you out all sorts of, there's a newsletter, there's different tips. Like today we sent out to people that there's a bunch of voter registration deadlines today and tomorrow in about 10 states. So a lot of people aren't aware that the deadlines are different in every state. So we're keeping people aware of issues. We're spreading around content that if you're a influencer, that you can spread around the content, big or small. We're going to be sending out rewards. We have a bunch of MAGA T-shirts, stickers, swag, MAGA 3X merchandise that we're giving out for free to people who pledge, and all sorts of rewards. And we're going to be in contact if there's any, you know, big events. We're actually having in every major city, we're throwing a MAGA 3X election night viewing party. So, you know,
Okay.
LA, Vegas, Chicago,
Okay,
everywhere.
so
It's going to be all over.
and everyone can get involved. That's the great thing. You don't have to be...
Branding class. Hold on. I'm going to give you all a live branding class as I talk to him. He covered too much information at once. There's going to be viewing parties. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Where at? How are we going to organize it? What's going to happen?
Yeah, so if you're interested in throwing a MAGA 3X election party, you can either contact me directly at Baked Alaska on Twitter, or you can message the MAGA 3X Twitter. And so it doesn't matter if you're a big or small influencer, if you have 10 followers, it doesn't matter. We want to get people out in the streets and people that are passionate, that can get people together, that are excited about this, right up until the election day. So we're going to be helping out people who want to organize these parties and, give them a little funding if they need help for the venue and making it fun. So, yeah, just hit me up or the MAGA 3X Twitter.
So if I understand you...
Or you.
So if I... Right? No. I don't want any... This is your project. So basically, if I understand you correctly, everybody can do little things that make a big difference. For example, share 3 articles a day about Trump and the revolution. Or...
Yeah.
Register 3 people to vote. And then on voting day, we want 3 people to vote. So MAGA 3X is a lifestyle, right? A way of life.
Yeah, it is a way of life. It's not, the main thing it is based around is a pledge to bring 3 people, but it's about a lot more than that. You can share, 3 pieces of Trump-related content with your family, with your friends, with people who might not have thought about it before. And we're also going to be providing links and resources. We already have a bunch on our site now for that. You can show them a Stefan Molyneux video. You can show them a Scott Adams podcast. Danger in Play. There's lots of great Prison Planet. Paul Joseph Watson. There's so many good people out there, and people need to get aggressive. It is the last 30 days. We have to be sharing things with people, even if it's uncomfortable. It has to be a way of life. We have to totally go all out right now.
All right, get aggressive. They can follow you, what, MAGA3X on Twitter?
Correct, yeah. MAGA3X on Twitter. That's all the major updates, and MAGA3X.com is where you can pledge, sign up for the newsletter, get the resources, get involved, and we're just putting out this mission as the building blocks. It's really up to the people. So, and that's what we're finding in this election, that Trump can do all these things for us, and it's awesome. But at the end of the day, we have to change this country. We have to make America great again. We have to get out there and put in 3 times the effort every day and 3 extra things. So yeah, it's really exciting, and the response so far, we've basically just had a soft launch, and it's already been, people have been getting really excited about it, tweeting about it, sharing it with their friends, sharing more articles, getting more involved, getting people registered to vote. So that's what's going to win this election for us.
Great. Thanks for taking the time to talk.
All right. Thanks, Mike. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye. All right, so there you go. You heard from Tim/Baked Alaska about the MAGA 3X project. This we're delivering today. Delivering the finest content. The finest content that you can find. Finer than my luxurious hair, even. So that's the MAGA 3X project. Right now, we're going to talk to oh, by the way, I haven't had my sardines yet today. No, I haven't had my sardines yet today. No, it hasn't happened yet. All right, so we're going to talk to a dissident artist right now. By the way, keep hitting people up on Twitter. If you want me to talk to anybody, just let them know. Hey, it's Mike Cernovich from Danger and Play, Gorilla Mindset.
Hello, Mike. How's it going? This is Red Panels. Am I coming through all right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. All right. Well, I guess I'll introduce myself. My name is Red Panels, and I'm on Twitter at @red_panels. Some of your viewers might recognize me as kind of a pro-Trump political comic artist, and I kind of do this independent comics that I release on a weekday schedule. Some of my stuff was featured on the Donald subreddit, and people generally like that. I appreciate you calling me and everything you do. I bought Gorilla Mindset, the book, and your other book, the Danger and Play one. Fantastic stuff. I really appreciate everything you do as a content creator, and I'm trying to build up my own content mindset, I guess.
So, Red Panels, what's the inspiration behind it? How'd you come up with the name? What do you do for your day job? Let the people know.
All right, sure, yeah. So Red Panels began as an idea in my mind where I was reading comics on the internet, and every now and then you get a comic that's really pushing like a liberal agenda. And typically the comics that, you either had non-political comics or ones that were left-leaning. And that's generally true for art in general. And one October 2 years ago, I ended up going to the 8chan birthday party in New York City, and talking with these people really helped me realize that there was a direction that society was heading in, and they were rejecting the mainstream kind of left-leaning narratives, and there might be a market for that. So January the following year, I created Red Panels, and Red Panels is kind of a homage to the red pill. So, I perhaps in my arrogance, I think I am red pilling people with my comics, but that was kind of the inspiration for the name.
Well, yeah, that's where we're losing is, we don't have enough artists and creative people. Too many, we have, on the right, we have 10,000 think tanks, but we don't have anybody doing comic strips, and that's a big mistake.
Actually, I guess I have a funny story related to that. So I kind of wanted my stuff to be a little edgier than what you can find normally or what mainstream comics would have. And I got some pushback from the mainstream, I guess. One particular comic I did was riffing off of the echoes, if you might remember. There was this meme going around where they would do the echoes around Jewish names. So just to familiarize my audience with that concept, I did a comic where a guy was shaming white people, and at the end of the comic, he had echoes around him, revealing that, he was Jewish. And I thought, it was a little edgy, but I thought it was pretty, tame. I wasn't going 1488 or anything like that. But what happened is it ended up, a panel from that comic ended up getting featured on the ADL website under their article about the echo. And then 2 days after I found out about that, my Google AdSense account gets wiped out. So I was like, oh man, what a coincidence. I wonder. So it was kind of a funny moment for me to kind of, finally see what other creators go through in terms of that. And especially with Ricky Vaughn getting banned from Twitter, and the previously Beardson Beardley, who I believe you hyped. He's got good stuff. Those guys got kicked off, and it's a little disheartening for small-time creators to see, guys you're friends with on Twitter who are also small-time creators get banned. So if I were, more religious, I would say you're doing God's work by breaking through the wall of people shutting down the dissident creators. So
yeah, we need to hear from everybody. So where can they learn more about you?
So my website is redpanels.com, and you can find me on Twitter at red_panels. And I'm also on Gab AI, a great free speech website. You can also find me on Gab at gab.ai/redpanels, one word.
All right, thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
My pleasure. Thank you for talking to me, Mike. Love it.
All right, talk to you soon.
Take care.
All right, so there we go. We just talked to comic creator. He's got a strip, red_panels. He does edgier sort of comics, which is good. We need more artistic we need more, what do you want to say, comics. We need pictures. We need, what I do on Twitter is art, but it's verbal. We need more, I don't know, pictorial art. What the hell do you call that? What would you call that? We need more of that. We need more of that. All right, so who do you guys want me to talk to? Milo, unfortunately, can't talk. Milo has to write a speech tomorrow. So Milo has to write a speech tomorrow. And so he can't talk. Sam Hyde, I don't know where Sam Hyde is. I would like to talk to Sam Hyde. Sam Hyde is a funny guy. Sam Hyde is, he's doing great work. So let me know who else you guys want to. Roseanne, I don't have her number. So Roseanne would be fun to talk to. No Roseanne. Hold on, let me check it out. By the way, some very generous, contributions have been coming in. As you know, I did launch a Patreon. But unlike most Patreons, mine doesn't fund me. All of the contributions to me go directly to journalists, content creators. Oh, I had a contest. Let's see. We had a contest, Disrupt Censorship. So let's see what we got going on there. DISRUPT. So I'm flying out. Somebody to watch me and Milo talk October 30th at UC Irvine. So I have to find the entries, and the entries are kind of a mess. So we'll see who's doing the disrupting. But yeah, they're so yeah, you can fund journalism through patreon.com/Mike Cernovich or paypal.me/Cernovich. All your money funds the Journalist Project. It doesn't fund me because this funds me. So all this stuff I do. Uh-oh, Sam Hyde. My boy Sam Hyde. All right, so Sam Hyde just replied to my DM. We might be hearing from Sam Hyde. So we'll wait and see. So yeah, who have we talked to today? At MAGA3X, at Gateway Pundit, at Cassandra Rules, at Julian G1, at a couple other people. Starting to forget. We talked to some more people. So right now, in my direct message is Sam Hyde. I said, where are you at, Sam Hyde? So if Sam Hyde, there you go. So if Sam Hyde gives us his number, we're going to call him. We're going to talk to Sam Hyde. He said, what are we going to talk about? What do you want to talk to Sam Hyde about? What do you want to talk to Sam Hyde about? All right, I'm slowing down. We're slowing down. All right, so let's recap. Right now, Sam Hyde is a very edgy, he's probably the edgiest comedian. He's a comedian, he's a performance artist. He has a show on Adult Swim called $1 Million Extreme. He completely humiliated a BuzzFeed blogger who tried to get him fired from his job. He is a genius. Sam Hyde is a comedic genius. He's actually so good, his content is so genius that most people don't understand it. That's how genius he is. Okay, so Sam Hyde says he'll get back to me in 5 minutes. So we'll see. So yeah, $1 Million Extreme. All right. So it'd be nice to get Roseanne on. I don't have Roseanne's number. Paul Nyland would be fun to talk to. A lot of these people are asleep. You got to realize it's 9:30 in California. It's 12:30 in the rest of the world. You know, just I can't be calling people blowing them up. But so yeah, just let Roseanne know on Twitter that you want to talk to me. So yeah, right now we're doing, for those tuning in, I recently launched a journalism project to fund honest journalism and non-hoaxing journalism. I have a backer who is going to match $10,000 a month for whatever comes in, so dollar for dollar. So basically, my Patreon is at like $2,600. So he's going to match at $2,600, so that's $5,500. We're going to hire a full-time video editor. We're going to hire freelance journalists. We're going to hire project manager, college outreach, a lot of stuff. We got fun stuff going on. So the way I always tell people, there is no poverty pitch. There is no digging deep into your pockets. If you got money, cool. If you don't got money, cool. This is your choice. I don't pressure people. All right, so breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news is that Dan Senor tells CBS News this is ridiculous. So here we go. So on Twitter earlier, I broke the news. Earlier on Twitter, I said to Dan Senor, writing about Billy Bush tapes, hearing your wife, former NBC, got a hold of the tapes, and you pushed the story for your boss. Comment. See, so this story is going wild on the internet now. This is the hottest breaking news story anywhere. We broke it on Twitter. The source of we know for a fact that the source of the Billy Bush tapes was GOP operatives, and it was Paul Ryan people. So hold on, no, I'll just call you on Skype. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud. So now you got an insight into how my brain works. So I'm talking about my story to you, reading a Twitter, but then Sam Hyde says, okay, he'll do it. How's he sign up for Twitter? And then I just spoke my thoughts, which were we got a lot going on. We got a lot going. We stay busy, man. That's what I tell you guys. You gotta be busy. You got to stay busy. All right. So, yeah, we're going to get Sam Hyde on before we do. Patreon.com/Mike Cernovich. 100% of the money funds journalism, other people. None of it funds me. There's no administration fee for me. There's no salary for me. That's all free. And then if you don't want to do Patreon, it's paypal.me/Cernovich. So we've raised $5,000 between PayPal and Patreon. We've raised $5,000. Not bad. Not bad for a Monday night. Good way to spend a Monday night, huh? Good way to spend a Monday night. And in terms of bang for your buck, you're not going to get better bang for your buck. Because the only people I hire out for the freelance work are these people. Honestly, like, they would work for free if they could afford to. They're passionate journalists. They really are about doing good journalism, but not everybody has a trust fund, you know. And in journalism, it's hard to make a living doing journalism. To do journalism, you ultimately have something to fall back on. So for me, this pays my journalism salary. I sell a lot of books. It's been a crazy success. So then I have income. But you got to have, if you want to do journalism, you got to have a trust fund, a sugar daddy, alimony. You got to have the alimony mindset. Because journalism just doesn't pay much. So that's just the reality. And then people complain about the media. People say, oh, God, the journalism media sucks. Like, well, yeah, but what are you going to do about it, you know? So I've always funded journalism. And so, yeah, I've always funded journalism. Oh, this Friday, big. All right, if you're in the LA area, I've donated $10,000 to a film called The Red Pill, which is an objective look on the men's rights movement. And that is what I'm calling Sam Hyde right now. Oh, it's a film on the men's rights movement. I funded it. And here we go. All right, Sam Hyde. Sam Hyde, we're about to call him. We're about to call the great Sam Hyde. Remember, patreon.com/Mike Cernovich or paypal.me/Cernovich. Boop, boop. We're calling Sam Hyde.
Yo.
Hey, this is Mike Cernovich from Danger and Play and Guerrilla Mindset. Is this Sam Hyde?
This is Sam Hyde from HydeWars.com. How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. So, a lot of people, I've been doing what I'm calling a Cernothon, and I'm on Periscope, and I said, I'm going to Periscope until I have 100,000 viewers. My first one, my first one hit 50,000, and then my phone overheated. This is the second one. I'm at 25,000, so I'm already at 75,000 because I've been delivering the content. So people, I said, who do you want to hear from? And everybody wants to talk to Ann Coulter and you. So
talk to Ann Coulter.
So I don't have Ann's number. I think she's asleep. But to be honest, I would rather, don't tell Ann this, but I would rather talk to Sam Hyde than Ann Coulter because everybody's talked to Ann Coulter. I like to talk to geniuses that aren't world famous yet. So you're a genius, but you're not world famous.
Are people listening right now?
Yes.
I'm not a genius. Don't call me a genius.
You're
I'm a guy.
Dude.
I'm a regular dude.
No, you're not. You're a comedic genius.
I'm good with comedy. That's my one thing. I'm kind of retarded in when it comes to like personal finances and other things. I can't really handle that sort of stuff, but I'm good with some jokes.
Okay, you're not good, but okay, you can say you're good with jokes. Sam Hyde is a comedic genius.
Well, thank you. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah. All right. So talk to the people. You have a book coming out, I know, right?
We have a book coming out. We have Super Hyde Vitality Tongkat Ali, which is you take one of these pills, you're protected from globalists for the entire month. We have Hyde Wars fish oil. It's like regular fish oil, but it's packed with fluoride. It's got all the fluoride that you could possibly want. But yeah, we have a book coming out that we've been working on for 4 years, and we're rushing to release it because the title is How to Bomb the U.S. Government. And depending on which way the election goes, it'll be either even more relevant or something that's just sort of a joke that we don't really stand behind anymore. So, How to Bomb the U.S. Government. It's for sale on vapes.com. That's not a joke. If you go to vapes.com, they're a highly rated retailer. They have an A rating on Better Business Bureau, and they're the only people carrying our books right now. So if you go to their website, vapes.com, and type in How to Bomb the U.S. Government, it'll come up.
Now, have you done a printing yet? Are the books ready to ship?
The book's being printed. We had some trouble because any book that is priced competitively is going to be printed in China, and the Chinese refused to print our book because it contains anti-Chinese propaganda. They probably said something like, "Son, we cannot print a piece of book." And so they're not printing the book in China. So that was a little complication, but it is being printed now. And we're going to have, if you look up $1 Million Extreme on YouTube, I'm going to post a video as soon as I get the print draft. They do it. They send out, 5 copies to show you that the quality's good. And it's going to be printed. It's a very good art object. It's like a coffee table, very high quality print job. And it's supposed to get here on December 15th.
So you're a comedian, and you also had, you're part of a comedy troupe, right, called $1 Million Extreme?
Yeah. We have a show on Adult Swim called World Peace, and we've been making YouTube videos for like 10 years, some with varying degrees of success, but it's me and my 2 buddies.
Well, you've gotten a lot of views on YouTube. I know that you have a very devoted cult following.
Yeah, we have a strong following. The numbers aren't that high, but they're sort of weirdly into it. A lot of people show up. Some people have shown up outside my house. Other people they have varying degrees of fandom, but they're into the work. They like the work.
Now you had the show on Adult Swim. How did you guys hit 1 million viewers?
We broke 1 million viewers on the first and last episodes, which is the first one we debuted after Eric Andre, so getting 1 million viewers, it was good, but it wasn't like we earned it. But then the last episode breaking 1 million was a really big deal and made a lot of people happy that we work with.
Now, do you think you're going to have another season on Adult Swim?
I don't know, honestly. They have 9 months to decide whether or not. They haven't given us the sort of Hollywood no yet, which is where they stop answering your calls. So we're still waiting to hear back on whether or not we get that.
Now, a lot of people don't know, so how much, your show is around, 15, 20 minutes? How long does it take, though, to do a show like that?
It takes a long time. We overshot, so total for the 6 episodes, 6 11-minute episodes, we probably had like 4 times as much material as we needed to fulfill that, and it took us like 6 months to put that together. So it does take a long time, and that's with people helping out.
Now, are you guys going to release the unused footage to your YouTube or wherever?
Well, we might, but we might just try to keep it moving forward and do new shit that is topical and makes sense given the time that it comes out. So we might just keep rolling forward and forget the cutting room floor stuff.
Gotcha. So how did you get your show? That's a big deal. How did you make that happen?
Nick is a notorious salesman. He sold cars. My buddy who does the show with me, he was one of the top selling. He was the top selling Cadillac salesman at his Cadillac dealership, and he was the top selling Acura salesman at his Acura dealership. So he did some good work for getting us in there. And the fact that we've got a big fan base and a lot of content already made helped that out too.
And so you've overcome a lot of cool stuff. Like, you really push the comedic envelope, and you've had people just hate you and go crazy on you. So how do you handle that?
Well, it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad when you think about it. When people are like this. This time is really, it's really the precipice of a very binary outcome. Like, we're either going to, as a society, we're either going to return to patriarchy and freedom of speech, and like we're either going to have a very good outcome or we're going to have a really shitty outcome. Like, if we don't start, that's why it's sort of easy for us to push the envelope, I guess, is because if we don't, the outcome is going to be fucking gulags. It's going to be bad. So it's not like we were sort of wavering on the fence, like trying to decide whether or not we should do really do the craziest material we could. It's either that or try to stockpile food rations and move to New Hampshire.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that too, because there's actually, people might think you're joking, but there's actually a lot of people on the left who have said they want to send me to a re-education camp. And I don't even think I'm that edgy.
Oh, yeah, man. If the trajectory of 2015 keeps going, if that trajectory keeps going towards that sort of totalitarian thought police shit, I'm not saying I would be taken to a FEMA camp or something, but there's these websites where they expose racists and try to ruin people's lives. I mean, that's a thing that it's just it's very dangerous. I mean, you think about which way that could go, and it's kind of sickening.
Well, you actually had BuzzFeed tried to get you fired from your job, isn't that right?
Yeah, that guy really was gunning for me.
So
the BuzzFeed author, who the author of that BuzzFeed article, it's fucking awesome, man. Looking at we're so lucky to be alive right now and to be watching this shit. I mean, whichever way it goes, it's really the Chinese proverb, "May you live in interesting times." The shift from who's that guy, the fucking guy who plays like Risk and Sticks and Hammer, Six or whatever. You know that guy?
Yeah.
He did the video talking about the transition to the fifth media paradigm or whatever, and like this guy, this BuzzFeed guy, he's already a legacy media guy just because of the website. Like he's not one of these people like you who's cultivated a fan base of people who really care about what he has to say. He just has an outlet to say whatever he wants, and it's reflected on Twitter. He gets like 6 retweets. His article, he posted it himself and got 6 retweets. It's really cool to watch these establishment media assholes getting overtaken by fucking just regular people with Twitter accounts. I think that's one of the coolest things about 2016.
Yeah, because I remember when his article posted, it only did like 25,000 page views, and I was making fun of him, and then BuzzFeed actually, they took it down. You know how BuzzFeed will show the stats? And I go, ha, you fucking cucks. Your shitty article's only got 25,000 views. I could blog them out my fucking lunch and get more than that. And then they actually pulled down the analytics from his article because that's how pathetic he was.
Yeah, that's really awesome that they did that. It's good. I like to see purity in personality traits. Like Hillary Clinton is like a pure sociopath. Like she is pure unbridled ambition. I like when you see people with no dignity who just are like they have no shame about when they have to like tuck their tail and run away, and they're just grabbing like shipwrecked people at whatever they can to stay afloat for another 2 weeks or something. It's fucking crazy.
Well, I'm glad you said that you like them, because a lot of people don't understand that about me either. Is they say, I bet you hate the Hillarys, and I go, I find them interesting because they are as pure will to power, whether you like her or not. It's just pure. They don't. They'll kill kids. They'll rape kids. They'll do anything to keep the Clinton power.
Yeah. And the only way to combat that, if you hate them, if you're consumed with hatred, that's not going to help you effectively combat them. The only way to combat them is through humor. I mean, that's why the Pepe stuff is surging so powerfully, is because humor is the only way to not be fatalistic, to not be totally black-pilled, and to take these people out.
Yeah, there's I'm glad you say that, because that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand about me is before Periscope, they assumed that I was this like angry dude ranting at the internet all day. And then they would just see me on Periscope just goofing off and laughing and trolling people and having the time of my life. And I think that's why our movement is growing, is if you want to have fun, when people call me, Cernovich Jew and, you're ugly, I think it's funny. I don't care. Make fun of my hairline or whatever. We're the fun party.
Yeah, it has to be fun, because if you try to lecture somebody, nobody has the attention span to listen to 15 minutes about why war is bad. I mean, you're not going to convince anybody of your position with factual, reasoned I mean, you'll convince some people. You'll convince good people. You'll convince people who are worth a damn and will listen to reason. But most people will just be like, it's depressing. I want to go buy lottery tickets. I want to go. I want to get a smoothie. I'm tired of being lectured to about something depressing. It has to be funny. It has to be fun and entertaining.
And then on the left, it's like you say one wrong thing, they're just waiting for you to slip up.
It's the school marm. It's like you made your aunt angry.
And that's where you're doing good work. You're making people laugh. Speaking of the Clintons, here's something you'll appreciate while you have on the line. So in one of the WikiLeaks, they were talking about how a Clinton employee tried to kill himself. So I'll just read this to you because it was funny. They go, late last night, Laura Graham called me as she couldn't reach my brother or her shrink. She was on Staten Island in her car parked a few feet from the water's edge with her foot on the gas pedal and the car in park. She called to tell me because of the stress she might kill herself. Next paragraph. But I'm sure Chelsea is more concerned with a mostly fake story in the New York Post about her dad's infidelity. So even Chelsea is a sociopath. You know, one of their employees is going to kill herself, and their own people are saying, well, yeah, but Chelsea, all she cares about is this article in the Post. So it's just a family of sociopaths.
That's fucking horrific, and I like. It's good that it's at least good that the opposite is true, which you know by the fact that when Hillary was when Hillary was convulsing at that 9/11 thing, they chucked her in the van like fucking object. Like,
she's not human.
That the inhumanity goes both ways. Over there. I mean, that's the good part about that. It's horrific. That's fucking horrific, though.
Well, yeah.
She tried to kill herself.
Stafford tries to kill herself, and Chelsea is just like, well, yeah, but what about this article about my dad? You know, that's who we're dealing with here.
What a fucked up bitch.
Yeah. It's there's some real like Game of Thrones people. I've heard from from Secret Service actually that working for Sick Hillary is actually a hardship tour. And they have to give the guys, they got to give them under the table bonuses.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen some of that stuff too. That's pretty good. I mean, just like I said, the appreciation of a pure personality type. Just imagining her being just absolutely vicious, like you know that she could be with these bulky ex state troopers or whoever ends up getting hired for the Secret Service.
Yeah, I agree. So how can people who've never heard of you, which if you've never heard of Sam Hyde, I don't know what to tell you. How can people learn more about you?
If you look up clips of our show, which is called World Peace, those are pretty good. And if you want to see some classic stuff, if you have a slightly longer attention span, you could look up MDE Ideas Man. That's the one we did a long time ago, but it's really good. That's on YouTube.
Before I let you go, actually, because a lot of people appreciate this because we like to talk about how shit the media is. Hasn't the media accused you of being a mass shooter on several different occasions?
Yeah, and they've done very little in the way of fact checking. And I think there have been instances where they left the article up for like 2 weeks after it's come out that they've put it up. But yeah, I've been accused of many acts of terrorism and mass shootings.
Well, now they're really going to get you because your book is How to Bomb the U.S.
I'll never do that for real, though.
Wink, wink. See my book, How to Blow Up the U.S. or Bomb the U.S.
Oh, God.
You're done.
I hope that doesn't get me in trouble. All
right, Sam, thanks a lot for taking time to talk to us.
All right, brother. Good luck with your stream there.
Thank you.
Peace, man.
All right, so you just heard from the legendary Sam Hyde. Sam Hyde's great. Sam Hyde, his comedy troupe is called $1 Million Extreme. You can find him on YouTube. Just type in $1 Million Extreme or type in Sam Hyde. So Sam Hyde is funny because, and the people have done this to me too, actually. So they took pictures of Sam Hyde with a gun, and then when there's a mass shooting, they would set up these fake newsy-looking profiles to make it look like a news anchor. And then they would say Sam Hyde has been identified as the Orlando shooter, or Sam Hyde has been identified as whatever shooting event. And then the journalism is so shit these days that real, actual media sites would run and say, here's white supremacist Sam Hyde. So they memed Sam Hyde and claimed that he was a white supremacist shooter. And then whenever there was a shooter, so they did that to me too. I was actually in the news. So the Twitter trolls, the 4chan trolls, they got tired of blaming mass shootings on Sam Hyde. So who do you suppose gets blamed for the shootings now? This guy. So I've been blamed for multiple mass shootings, and a Russian news outlet actually wrote me up as a mass shooter. So I probably couldn't visit Russia because I'm probably in some kind of database, which is the so I get identified now by Byzantine nationalist Mike Cernovich, but that's what I talk about is I have a good, you gotta just enjoy life, man. So yeah, there's an account actually, Nationalism Rises, and he trolls me all the time, and they identify him as a shooter. You can't get wound up by the internet, right? So there's apparently a Trump rally in front of CNN. So let's see if we can find it.
Hollywood, California, right in front of the CNN building. Sunset and Vine. Stop Hillary's open borders. Remember Benghazi. Let's honk. America, great again.
All right, so you can find that clip on my Twitter feed. There was at CNN, a pro-Trump rally broke out. All right, people are saying they DM'd me on Twitter. I'll go through read my DMs here real quick. All right, who else are we going to talk to? Who else should put in requests? Who else do you guys want me to talk to? We'll call anybody, We'll talk to anybody. But that was fun. Sam Hyde is a fun guy. I don't know, is Lee Stranahan up? If Lee Stranahan is up, then I'll call him. I'll definitely talk to him. All right, so here's a website. Make sure you're registered to vote. Make sure everybody is registered to vote. Very important. MAGA 3X. So yeah, we've had... Hold on, Shauna's back. You guys want to talk to Shauna? All right, I'll be right back. All right, Shauna is back in the house. Shauna Gofanian. All right. That was fast. Shauna is back in the house. Shauna and Julius are here. Okay, get out the word. Tomorrow is the last day to register in a lot of states. So get out the vote drive. Get people registered to vote. For sure. Get people registered to vote. Must be done. It must happen. Get out the vote. Maybe we'll have a Get Out the Vote Periscope tomorrow. Ann Coulter did not tweet me, guys. Thank you, though. Ann Coulter has a verified... I'm going to show you guys a trick. Ann Coulter there's a verified walled garden. Oh, okay. Here, get him up here. Hey, so we're doing a Cernothon until I hit 100,000 viewers, so I'm at like 80-some thousand now. Oh, you look tired.
He's so tired.
Oh, so this is Julius. This is Julius. Julius is America's puppy.
Dante's America's dog.
Dante's America's dog. Is Dante here?
No.
No, we don't have Dante.
He was trying to get into the car too. Like,
Oh, I should have brought him. So this is Julius, and Julius is my little puppy. He regulates my blood pressure. He keeps things in perspective. He still smells like a puppy. He's got that puppy fur. Here, I'll show you. He's got that puppy fur. He's had a long day. Oh, look at him. He doesn't want to look. He's snuggling. Little Julius is. Yeah, so he's a good puppy. Julius relaxed me. All right, who else are we going to call? My DMs are open, you know. If one of you people want to call, I'll call you. I'll talk to anybody. I have Lee Stranahan's number. Let me see if I can find Dustin. Dustin's a good guy to talk to. Dustin Stockton. You up? I feel like I'm back in my player days, you know. I'm just texting numbers like, you up?
What are you doing?
I'm doing a Cernothon until I hit 100,000 viewers.
What does that mean?
What do you mean, what does it mean?
What is a Cernothon?
Well, you know what a telethon is?
People are calling us?
No, a telethon is like, I don't know, it's a Cernothon. We're doing 100,000 until I have 100,000 people.
You're just talking to people?
Talking to people, calling to people, the whole day, whole
Calling
shebang.
randoms?
No, I'm calling like friends of mine, Gateway Pundit, Chuck.
I thought you were calling
No,
random
I'm not
people.
prank calling people. That would.
Okay, are you a Trump
No, it's
supporter?
illegal. No, it's illegal to record people. Come on, Shauna.
Sorry.
Shauna's 7 months pregnant, and she has official pregnancy brain.
Baby brain.
They call it baby brain. It's where they're just like, ugh.
I spilled almond all on myself.
Yeah, so she like spilled on herself, and but she's got to put up with me. That's not an easy thing for anybody. But we had a lot of fun. All right, so I'm trying to get a hold of Dustin Stockton. I had Lee's number. Let me see if I can find Lee. So I don't have. So a lot of these people, I don't know. I can't find his number. That's too bad.
Do you want me to get the email?
No, I think that's probably like a. Well, yeah, no, I will actually. I'll have that. Yeah, I'll have dinner. I haven't had that much to eat today. But yeah, so they're what's breaking news? What do we got going on? Who do you guys? Yeah, Shauna's great. Lauren Southern, I have her Skype. A lot of these people I have their Skypes, but I don't have. Yeah, I'll talk to the founder of Gab. Where's his number? You give me your number, I'll call you guys. So Lee, Lee should be watching my Periscopes. If Lee were watching my Periscopes right now, he could get in on the action. But that's just you snooze, you lose. No, I have the username for the co-founder of Gab, but I don't have his phone number. I usually don't communicate with people via phone. This is sort of unprecedented. I don't usually talk to people. Oh, what do you want, down?
I think he has to pee.
Oh, okay,
He drinks
okay.
so much water.
Here you go. Oh, little guy. Here you go. So wow. Did he play a lot with Dante?
Oh my god.
Okay. So the puppy and Dante are getting along great. So they're having lots of fun. All right. So let's get caught up. What do we got? Anything good in the news? We'll see what's going on in the news. I'll look. All right. Have you heard of?
Good potty, Julie.
Have you heard of all wars are banker wars?
Good potty. Come here, treat.
I don't know. We'll take a chance. We'll call him. Yes, I feel like I'm back in the day of.
Good potty, sweetheart. Good potty. Good boy.
I feel like I'm back in the day where you're just hitting people up. I'm not gonna your number, dude. I'm not. No, people are giving me their Skype handles. I want phone numbers. Not that hard. Come on, guys. Not that hard. If I ask for your number, That means your phone number. It doesn't mean your Skype handle. Oh, what are you going in there? No, you're good. You're a good boy. Okay, you're a good boy. All right, here we go. What do we got going on here? Just DM me your number. DM me your number. So you got content. Are you a content creator? Are you a content creator? If so, DM me your number. Lou Dobbs ran the story of Paul Ryan. Did he fire? All right, let's go to Lou Dobbs' page. So you guys catch me up. I've been periscoping now for like 3 hours.
Really?
I think so. Yeah. They're
That's a lot, Liz.
yeah, no, we've been at it all day, man. It's a Cernothon. All right. Nigel would be fun to talk to. That's the thing. I'm good at getting a hold of people on Twitter, but I don't have. All right, here we go. I'm calling a random. This might be insanity, okay? This is unprecedented. I'm just, a guy texted me his number, and I'm going to call him. He might be a lunatic. He might be a genius. Who knows?
Or Amazon Prime membership, you can arrange for them to watch it for free.
Right, but who are you? Who are you? What's going on? What have you worked on? And the people want to hear. The people are live. They want to hear edgy content. What did you produce?
I produced the video "All Wars Are Bankers' Wars."
Uh-huh. And what is that about?
Well, I sent you the link. I thought you saw it.
Well, I did, but I got to give you the pitch, man. Come on, dude. Marketing lesson. I pretend all these questions I ask people, I already know the answer to, but I'm trying to give you a chance to talk about yourself. And I'm like Oprah. I'm like Oprah for alpha males, man. I pretend like I don't know what you're gonna say. That way you can talk about your project, so you can communicate. You're not talking to me. You're talking to the people who are live. So talking to people who are live.
Yeah. Well, you've got your Patreon, and people are interested in that, and they want to work for you. I'm one of them.
Uh-huh.
I'm a video producer. But what I want to tell these people is that Amazon launched this thing about 4 months ago, and it's a place for independent producers to put their documentaries and get paid for it at once. They have an audience at Amazon in the millions, and at $1.99 per download, all it takes is just a tiny trickle of that audience to make it worth making documentaries if you're independent.
Mm-hmm. But your documentary was about all wars are bankers' wars. A lot of people don't know that. So what were you explaining in your documentary?
Well, it's an explanation. It's a kind of a history lesson of. When they hear that title, they sometimes the title just sets them off, and they say, "Oh, well, yeah, it's kind of true," But this takes you from the beginning of the country, and over the last 200 years, these presidents that wanted to dislodge these money men. The latest incarnation is the Federal Reserve Bank, but there were ones before that, Mike. There was the First Bank of the United States, the Second Bank of the United States. And the guys that tried to get rid of them, presidents, they had assassination attempts, every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Jackson, John F. Kennedy, these guys, they play rough. And also, there was, I just posted on my Twitter just a little excerpt from it, and it has to do with the assassination of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya.
No, tell them about that. Well, I'm going to interrupt you because tell them the real reason Gaddafi was assassinated. Most people don't know this. Red pill him right now.
Well, he wanted to create a gold dinar That would be a new currency backed by gold. He had a stash of gold there in northern Africa, and he wanted to trade his oil, his Libyan oil fields, or the output of his fields for some new currency other than the U.S. dollar. But the situation has already been set up for very, a few decades already. It's called the petrodollar, and the United States is very jealous of any other currency coming in, being able to buy gas and oil with other currencies. They get a piece of the action whenever oil sales are taking place.
Exactly. So what's the name of your documentary again, and where can they find it?
Well, I'm going to launch it on Amazon here in a few days. It's called All Wars Are Bankers' Wars.
And how can they follow you on Twitter?
At ZH Productions.
At ZH Productions?
Yeah, that's my company, ZH Productions.
Okay.
/C.
At ZH Productions _C.
Yes.
All wars are bankers' wars. About time somebody told. Most people don't know we killed Gaddafi, which destabilized the zone and gave ISIS more power because Gaddafi wanted to create his own currency. Most people don't know this. Thank you very much.
And Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State at the time.
Exactly. All right. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Yeah, so most people don't know that that's the real reason they killed Gaddafi. They didn't kill Gaddafi was in Libya for fucking fuck all forever. Gaddafi was in Libya forever. Suddenly he became a threat and they killed him. It was because he wanted to have currency backed by gold rather than fiat currency. Most people don't know this. All right, we're going to call somebody else. I told Paul Nealon to DM me. Paul Nealon linked to an article. I told him we're live. Is he okay? What's wrong? Oh, I think he's just exhausted, babe. He played hard all day. All right, so we're calling. Here we go. Call more people.
Hello?
Hey, Mike Cernovich, Danger Play, Gorilla Mindset. Who am I talking to?
What's going on, Mike? This is Jeremy Nolt. Volunteer for the Trump campaign in Arizona. Twitter handle @RealJeremyNolt. What's going on, buddy?
Okay, man. So you said that you wanted to talk about people being threatened for supporting Trump. Talk to me.
Yeah, it was interesting, the story that Bill O'Reilly was talking about today. I'm not the biggest Bill O'Reilly fan, but he was talking about basically how there's three major media conglomerates, not just media personalities, but actual conglomerates that are basically telling people that work for them through the grapevine, if you come out and support Trump, you're not going to have too much of a job after this election. I'm assuming Hollywood celebrities are hearing the same thing. Not that we should care what their opinions are, but yeah, just a little intimidation factor. I really thought what you were talking about earlier with the psyops was pretty interesting because that's what's going on. They want to demoralize the campaign. They see what's going on. If Hillary Clinton was really toast, they wouldn't be hitting us, or if she was really ahead and Donald Trump was toast, they wouldn't be hitting us this hard. And I think they're worried.
Okay, so you volunteer for Trump in Arizona. What does that entail?
Okay, yeah. So I work under Thayer Vershkull. He's the Arizona Deputy State Director out here. I'm located in Phoenix. Basically just doing basic stuff, getting people to make calls for us, coming in, volunteer, working on ground game stuff, just getting people signs to pass out, litter the yards, whatnot. Just your basic grassroots movement type stuff.
And, well, so here's the way the game goes. I pretend that I don't know you or what you're doing because a lot of people are new to politics. So what do you mean by grassroots and ground game?
Yeah,
so we're just trying to connect with the people on a basic level. We're basically the ones sending out the emails that you're getting. If you're signing up for that text alert that Trump has on his podium that his speech is, all that good stuff, and you'll get messages to come into the office, and we'll get you hooked up with a phone line that you can make calls from home. You can make calls from the office. We'll give you signs, T-shirts, all that kind of good stuff. And, lay out, actual ground canvassing, that type of stuff. Right now, what we really need is we're looking for election observers. I can blast a link out to that. A lot of people, if you sign up for the emails, you should have got that. But basically, people in New York at the top level Trump campaign type stuff are a little worried that there's going to be some foul play in November. So they're looking for election observers right now. Basically, if you see something, you're going to have a number to call. We don't want any type of foul play going on the part of Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, the rigged election. So how can people learn more about you? Where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Real Jeremy Nolt.
N-O-L-T?
Yeah.
Jeremy N-O-L-T?
Yep, Jeremy J at Real, so R-E-A-L, Jeremy Jeremy Nollt.
So how's voter registration going in Arizona?
To be honest with you, it was pretty unorganized when I first started back during the primaries. I think they're starting to get their stuff together a little bit here. Before the Paul Manafort days, it was a mess, to be honest with you, Mike. It was kind of a joke. But since Paul Manafort, that whole shift in the campaign, it started to improve a little bit. And now, especially since the Breitbart guys, Bannon and all of them came on, there's definitely a lot more direction. So I think we're doing all right. Arizona's going to go red this year. I'm confident in that. But everybody needs to get out and vote. What you're doing with the MAGA 3X thing, I think that's great. People don't realize the impact you can have just getting people around you, to get on board, and that's something we all need to be doing.
Thanks, Jeremy.
All right, Mike. Thanks, buddy.
Have a good night. All right, so that's Real Jeremy Nolt, R-E-A-L at R-E-A-L, Jeremy Nolt. Yeah, Jeremy Nolt's a Trump Arizona advisor. So I think a lot of people who are watching, you got to learn. I'm going to give you a pro tip. Pro tip on interviewing, and then pro tip on being interviewed. Media mindset, media training right now for the content mindset, okay? When I'm interviewing someone, I'm going to pretend like I don't know who they are so that they can talk themselves up. Now, part of that, too, means if I say, hey, it's Mike Cernovich, who am I talking to? You need to pitch yourself to the audience. You're not talking to me. You're talking to the people who are listening. So it works both ways. Ultimately, what I do is, in the content mindset, one of the 7 pillars of content mindset is I'm creating content for you, and if I'm talking to you, you're creating content not for me. That's why it's a hidden pillar. Just because you're talking to me doesn't mean you're creating content for me. You're actually creating content for the people who are listening in. So that's the key. The pillar of the content mindset. All right, I have another lunatic who wants to talk to me. His Twitter handle is called Harambe Disciple. Okay, so we're going to talk to Harambe Disciple. Because why? Because fuck it. I mean, what the fuck else am I going to do? It's a Monday night. And Shauna's already pregnant. So I've handled that, thing. Dog's potty trained. She's actually asleep right now. Dog's potty trained. Shauna's pregnant. I'm going to call Harambe Disciple. This kid could be a fucking lunatic. I have no idea. But I'm giving him an audition.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, it's Mike Search for Danger and Play, Guerrilla Mindset. Who am I talking to?
Josh?
Josh who? Just Josh?
Yeah, do you mind if I...
Yeah, you can stay anonymous. We respect anonymity here. All right, Josh, what's going on, my friend? You're live. The people are listening. They want fresh content. What content do you have for them?
Well, I can start by giving you what I understand to be the Trump
plan in California, or
Yeah.
what the Trump
All right.
campaign, the state of the Trump campaign? So,
Josh is going to talk about the state of the Trump campaign in California. Go.
yeah. So, there's the guy on top. He's in charge of 5 states. So there's a guy right below him who I talked to, and he's in charge of just California. And I called up to volunteer because they had contacted me, and I called them back, and they said, anyway, I spoke to them, I said, do you really feel like California's in play because, Donald Trump is not coming out here and all this stuff? So he's like, yeah, California's in play, but, Trump can't be everywhere, da-da-da-da. And then he offered me to be head of, all the colleges for Trump in the whole California. But I guess my concern is lining up with what you've been tweeting about and talking about on Periscope is, the concern that it seems as though the Trump campaign has given up on California.
Okay.
So that's the first piece of news. Also, I did a bunch of work for Chuck Johnson, so I can plug him as well. He's always looking for researchers, sort of volunteer researchers. He's got a Slack, and people who are interested can contact Chuck Johnson and ask him to be part of his Slack to help the Trump campaign, help MAGA and all that.
Okay, so I want to talk to more about what are you doing in California for college outreach. One thing that we want to do is paint a picture for people. What does it mean? What does it mean to do college outreach?
Yeah, I mean, I've been hassling the Trump campaign for months to actually do this properly, but I'm in Santa Barbara. So my plan for Santa Barbara County, was, in fact, if I might step back for a second if I might readjust your question to just talk about Santa Barbara County and how the Trump campaign really should be addressing Santa Barbara County, and then I'll add in the college aspect to it. But, basically, we have the Central Committee in Santa Barbara County. They didn't like Trump to begin with, and now they're similar to what you're seeing across the country with what you've been reporting. There's nothing going on for Trump in Santa Barbara County. The person who's in charge for Trump in the city of Santa Barbara didn't even know that they were in charge. The person who's in charge at the county level isn't doing anything. The word from the campaign is, maybe make some phone calls to help out in other states. So that's the extent of the Trump campaign in Santa Barbara County. And I've been, basically haranguing them for months to actually set something up properly. I offered them even a free office, and they wouldn't accept it. So, it's sort of strange. And then I could tell you sort of the college view as far as what I've seen on UC Santa Barbara's campus and sort of where I think that they could go with that as well. So to give you an idea, so the UC schools are known as sort of liberal, leftist schools. But when Milo came, there was a room that held 750 people, but there were 1,500. There was double that. Half of the people couldn't get in. All wearing Make America Great Again hats. It was the administration was going crazy. There were a couple of leftist kooks who were trying to shut down the thing by claiming there was a threat to the event and all this stuff that we've seen everywhere else. But if I was I don't see why we can't. I mean, even if the polls are saying that Trump is not maybe doesn't look like he's going to win California, why can't we still go all out for it anyway? It will look good. For the election itself, even if we don't win in California. And I mean, Mike, that's the problem. Is there's guys like me, guys like you. There's a lot of us out there that really want to do something. But I feel like there's a disconnect between the campaign seems to be more at the level of the GOP. In other words, where they look down upon us regular people,
Exactly. All right. Thanks for calling in. I just had a new video debut, so I'm going to debut the new video.
Okay.
But where can they find you on Twitter?
Harambe Disciple.
Okay, Harambe Disciple on Twitter. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, it's at Chuck C. Johnson, too. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Mike.
And he's doing work with Chuck Johnson. All right, so breaking news. Cernovich has another hot video for you. Are you ready to see the exclusive new video? Danger and Play Productions. You ready? We're going to try to, here, let's try to position it so that you can actually see it, so that it looks good. Wow, let's try this. All right, hot new video, hot new take. Is that glare too? The glare might be too much. Let's try it out. Oh, that wouldn't have been good. But you know what? I didn't lose my cool. Gorilla mindset. Here we go. All right, let's watch this bad boy. I haven't even watched. Here we go.
You know, we've got to stand up against hate. We've got to stand up against terrorism.
It is long past time for the Saudis to stop funding extremist organizations.
It's called Pay for Play.
All right, so there you go. First look. Exclusive first look. Exclusive first look. The latest, dankest memes going up. We just dropped it. Going live on Twitter. That's Hillary's daddy, the Saudis. So we're going to go live on Twitter with that. Yeah, it was kind of hard to see. Almost dropped the laptop. It's just the hazard of the game. Just the hazard of the game. What are you going to do? Things happen. Oh, are you okay? Okay. Hazard of the game. All right, so we got more people here. We'll see if we can watch it one more time. Anyway, you can find that on Twitter. No, that isn't the leak. You can find that on Twitter. I got it posted right now. We're going to talk to a filmmaker real quick. Where are we at? Oh, by the way, 41,000. 41,000. How do I scroll back over? My phone is shutting down again. All right, so we're going to call a filmmaker right now. 10 more thousand views. I said we're going to do 100,000. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry, Lauren. Paul Nealon. We got Paul Nealon. Whoa. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, so we're going to call him right now. Make sure you tweet out that we're going to talk to Paul Nealon live. Now we're getting real. Sorry, Lauren Feldman. I'll talk to you in a minute. Paul Nealon, breaking news. Here we go. Paul. See, we go real. We go hard here.
Hey, it's Nealon.
Hey, Mike Cernovich, Danger Play, Gorilla Mindset. How you doing today?
Great, how are you?
Good, good. So we're doing like a live Periscope, and we were talking about sabotage from the GOP, and not a lot of people, more people, I don't want to say that, a lot of people know about you. More people should know about you. So tell them about yourself, please.
I appreciate that. I'm the guy who primaried Paul Ryan in Wisconsin's 1st District in Wisconsin just this past election. And I'm a manufacturing guy. I've been in business for years, engineer, run businesses all over the globe. And I ran this race because of TPP. And Paul Ryan, the mercenary champion of Fast Track, pushed that through. And, you know, he's my congressman. I've had the opportunity to shake his hand and look him in the eye. I was a Diamond sponsor 2 years ago at that event he just disinvited Trump from. And, Ryan said all the right stuff. He was going to take down Obamacare. He was going to fix the world. We just needed to get majorities in there. And what does he do? He turns around and funds everything, puts his fast track through, and absolutely just cucks everything up, quite honestly. So the more I started looking into this fast track, and when I read what TPP was all about, it became clear to me that somebody else had to run, but I've never run for office in my life. So I looked around. Nobody else was stepping up, so I stepped up and, was able to at least put a halt to TPP in the short term. They say it's dead. Meanwhile, Kevin Brady down in Texas, he's now carrying the ball, trying to get this thing trying to get votes rounded up for it. We've got Boehner over at R.J. Reynolds now, I think. They're trying to get the tobacco vote whipped together. And so, they're still working on this thing in the background. And, my feeling on this whole thing, I just tweeted out there, called Ryan the Kuzling of Capitol Hill. His plan, in my mind, takes two tacks, either of which Hillary wins. Either Dan Senor drops those tapes, Trump stays in till the bitter end but loses, Hillary wins, Ryan runs in 2020. Otherwise, tack two, Trump says, all right, I'm just going to drop out because popular opinion goes the other direction on these tapes. They parachute Ryan in. Ryan still loses because there's so many votes that have already been cast. Ryan doesn't care. He wants Hillary to win because if Hillary wins, then TPP has a much better chance of sailing through. And the same people that are supporting Paul Ryan, the Elliott Managements of the world, just all these companies that would stand to benefit from this globalist worldview. Paul Ryan's on strings for them. So I don't think for a minute Paul Ryan ever didn't want to be speaker, although he feigned interest in it, and Freedom Caucus fell for it. I mean, the whole thing, I couldn't stomach all of it. He's not going to be able to blame the omnibus on anybody else this time. Sorry, I got a terrible cough.
It's going around here.
That's how I see this whole thing playing out. I don't think they really care. This populist uprising is just not giving up. I mean, this race isn't about Donald Trump. My race was never about me. It was about getting Ryan out of that role where he's destroying America with his open borders and his very close friendship with Luis Gutierrez. People hammered on me. I just saw an article a few minutes ago. This guy in Virginia who just got canned from the Trump campaign for leading this revolt out in front of the RNC headquarters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they compared him to a Paul Nehlen-style revolt. And that was because these angel moms, all around the country reached out to me because they had tried to see Ryan. They had tried to see Ryan in Washington. He refused to see him in Washington. They wrote to him. They called him. He won't take anything unless you're from the district. He won't take an email from you if you're not living in the district, even though he's a speaker. So they reached out to me and they said, hey, how would you feel about us coming up here? And very initially, I mean, it wasn't even 30 days after I announced. It might have been 10 days after I announced.
they reached out to me, as did a multitude of groups, a multitude of wonderful groups, and a bunch of crazy groups too. And I was sorting through all of it, and I got a text message when I was driving from Laredo, Texas. I was down on the border. I wanted to see it for myself. I wanted to see what border security looked like. I was driving from Laredo to El Paso. I got a text message from this number I didn't know. Guy introduces himself. He says, "My name's Dan Golvach, and my son, Spencer, was murdered by a 4-time deported illegal alien who was in U.S. prison, had a long, violent rap sheet. He rolled up next to my son, who was sitting in his car at a red light, and he used his head as target practice in the neighborhood that I grew up in." So I get this text message. I'm like, holy shit, what do you do with that? So I figured, when I get to the next gas station, I'll pull over and call the guy. So the next text I get from him is a picture of his son's grave. And he says to me, "I'm going to spend every Father's Day there for the rest of my life. And Paul Ryan should have to spend it there with me, because it's Paul Ryan's policies that killed my son." I pulled the car over and I called him and I said, "Dude, I don't even know what to say to that." And it turns out Dan's a great guy. His ex-wife Julie, great lady. All these families, just Josh Wilkerson's parents. I mean, I could go on and on. There's so many wonderful parents who just want somebody to do something about all the illegals that are in the country. You can't effectively deport anybody with a wall. I was in El Paso. I was in the El Paso sector with a couple of sheriffs, and I said to Sheriff West, "Sheriff, could you secure this border?" He said, "You give me 75 men in 24 hours, and I will have Hudspeth County secured." That's 100 miles of border. I mean, just the ridiculousness of the situation that you find, running a race like this. I mean, they banged on me for bringing those mothers up here and protesting outside Paul Ryan's personal border wall around his house. Literally, the Janesville Gazette wrote this terribly shitty article about me, an editorial from the editorial board 2 weeks from the election. So I called him and I said, "Okay, you got that out there, and you didn't call me to verify any of your facts, and you were completely wrong on this. I'd like to have an editorial board review. I'd like to sit down with you and do an interview with you guys." They're like, "Oh, we can't do that. It's too late in the game, and we'll have a reporter call you." I said, "Oh, is that going to be Frank? This guy, this hack." I said, "Is that Frank?" I've talked to Frank a couple times. Every time I talk to Frank, he writes an ever worse article about me, when in fact I'm only trying to secure jobs, secure the border, and you guys are backing up Paul Ryan, this career politician who's done nothing. 1 in 5 manufacturing jobs has left Wisconsin under Paul Ryan's tenure. I mean, he is only focused on bringing cheap labor into this country. So that's where I find myself. Love the country. Started out as a maintenance mechanic on the production floor and worked my way. I was on the Get Your Engineering Degree at Night 12-year program. And then I got my MBA at night. And I worked my way up through businesses. I've lived in Europe for a couple of years running businesses for Fortune 500. I was responsible for $2 billion worth of business over there. So I've run companies anywhere from 30 to, $2 billion, private equity, public companies. So that's who I am. I know trade. I've won at it. I've got 5 U.S. patents. Paul Ryan drove the Wienermobile, and he went right to Congress. That's his, I think he worked at McDonald's too. But, yeah, so that's my gig. I'm fed up with Paul Ryan, and got to get Donald Trump elected. He's got to be elected. We've got to break this cycle of abuse on ourselves here with these Republicans that end up getting elected and then screwing us.
Now, what are you thinking about 2018 and the congressional elections?
In terms of?
Well, regardless of November 9th, the GOP globalists think that we're all going away. I'm kind of like you in a way that I was just some kind of wild and crazy guy who never cared about politics, and then I realized, like, these people they're importing ISIS. They're destroying jobs. Yeah. I would rather just goof off on the internet and write books, but I have to get involved. And I sense that you're the same way. You were just a working man. You worked your way up, and you realize, well, if I don't do something, it's over. So are you thinking about running again in 2018?
There's a strong probability that that'll happen. I wouldn't rule it out by any stretch of the imagination. I don't expect Speaker Ryan's going to go away. I don't think he's going to leave his congressional seat. I think he's got aspirations for the presidency. And, if somebody else had stepped up who had the same mindset of, what are these guys going to do to me? I've had a great life. I can always go back to running businesses, always. I don't need to do this. I do this because I love this country, and this country gave me these opportunities that almost no other country on the planet would have, So when I was over in Europe, I read, I was probably, I don't know, a 4 on the political scale. I had a pretty good civics teacher in high school, and pamphleted, in high school, in Wilmington, Delaware. I grew up in Ohio, but I moved to Delaware my junior and senior year of high school. I was in Delaware, and I just fell in love with it. So every 2 years, I'd pound signs for somebody. I'd pick a candidate, and, work behind the scenes, do a little something here and there. And then I read Andrew Breitbart's Righteous Indignation when I was over in London, and something, just ignited me. And I was over there when, the whole Tea Party really broke loose. And when I got back over here, I stayed involved in things, and it just progressed more and more that, but, like a lot of people, I fell for Paul Ryan's BS. I fell for it. I did. And the thing of it is, when you shake somebody's hand, you look them right in the face, you're asking them questions, and they're telling you exactly what you want to hear. I don't know. I guess I can be fooled. I think I'm good most of the time, but man, the level of betrayal that he perpetrated on so many people by running that fast-track trade promotion authority through, which actually a friend of mine was in Greenville, Spartanburg, and heard Trey Gowdy speak tonight. He went to a town hall down there. And so it was either she or a friend asked about TPP, and they videotaped the answer. He said, well, TPP's dead. TPP's dead, and the reason it's dead is because after Fast Track got approved, then we got to read it. Well, that was bullshit, because I went to the New Zealand website and was able to download sections of it myself. New Zealand has it posted right now. You can get, and in fact, the USTR has a narrative version of the TPP posted up there. They have things interjected into this narrative that don't actually exist in TPP on the USTR site right now. That is such bullshit. That's lying to the American public. Plain and simple. So it's just infuriating. So, I'm keeping up the push, keep making videos and posting videos on how bad TPP is. And there, I've got one pinned to my Twitter feed. I just put one out. the other day on why, it might have been today, actually, I posted it today on Paul Ryan's poison pill he baked into TPA, TPP, because it's an up-down vote. Congress doesn't get to modify it. That fast track prevents Congress from modifying it. They don't send it back to the USTR to modify it. What happens is Congress is an up and down vote now, and the president's the only one who can modify it. And when I first read what that fast track could do, the first thing I thought was Obama could flip over the top page and write something in there. We're going to sign on to the U.S. Small Arms Treaty, or we're going to cancel the Second Amendment. And this thing has the full weight of a treaty, and it's a living document. There's 12 nations in it. Brunei, country of 400,000 people, country the size of Omaha, Nebraska. Strict Sharia law has a vote equal to the United States. Isn't that ridiculous? Freaking unbelievable that we would sign on to something like that.
Well, and what a lot of people don't realize, too, is that whenever we enter these trade agreements, we have to be bound by the law of these backward countries under the trade agreement.
Yeah, that's right. So I've done a bunch of work in food and beverage. That was one of the sectors I did work in. And the chain of custody from the food the cow eats to the water the cows drink in. Everything's tested. When the milk comes out of the cow to the tanker truck that moves it, to it going into the milk reception unit at the dairy, to every step along the way, it's measured a lot. And, there's a narrow window of acceptability. So we have what's called the 3A, it's called the PMO, Pasteurized Milk Ordinance. So when you bite down on cheese or you take a drink of milk, there is such a small probability you or your kids or your grandparents are going to get sick. However, the way TPP is structured, every country has to have regulations. That's what it says. It doesn't say that Vietnam's milk has to pass the pasteurized milk ordinance in the United States. So they can have wooden buckets on their whatever they're milking, hauled over to a tank that isn't necessarily at the right temperature, and they move it and they ship it here, and our ports will not be able to reject it. So whether it's milk or cheese or shrimp that's been fed pig manure, you can reject that at the port now. And Louisiana does reject shrimp that comes from areas where they find all sorts of things. I don't even want to tell you all the crap they find, but they can reject it. If it's rejected after TPP passes, the company in the foreign country can sue the jurisdiction, like the municipality that rejected it. So can you imagine a local jurisdiction being sued by a multinational milk company that's got an outpost in Vietnam? It would just be insanity. The Farm Bureau is totally on board with TPP because they think they're going to be able to sell their stuff everywhere in the world. Well, there's only 400,000 people in Brunei, and if you look at the GDP of the United States, like, I don't know, $17 trillion. Let's call it $17 trillion a year. All the other 11 countries add up to, 9 trillion. We're that much bigger. This one country is that much bigger, but they all get one vote, all 11 countries. That's a majority vote. Think we're going to win any of those votes? We're going to win any of those votes. I could go on and on with this stuff. Speaker Ryan would never debate me. In fact, I challenged him to so many debates. I went on live on the air at one of the local fairs, the Janesville Fair, Rock County Fair. I spoke to one of the local radio personalities there, And I said, live on the air, yeah, I just wanted to remind you, I asked you back in May if you could ever facilitate a debate between me and Speaker Ryan on TPP. He said, I should tell all my listeners I've asked Speaker Ryan's camp a number of times if they would be willing to debate, and they've never given me an answer on that. I said, oh, that's interesting. He goes, well, Speaker Ryan will be here tomorrow. I can certainly ask him. And I thought, oh, good. I said, well, I'll tell you what. I'll debate him right here at the fair. If you want to do it right here at the fair, I'll debate him right at the fair. So the next day, I missed Ryan by 20 minutes at the fair. So I went back up to the guy. He was on the air. And I waited till he was on break. And I said, hey, let me ask you, did you ask Ryan about the debate? And he said, I got a phone call from them after you were on, and I was told not to ask him about a debate. And I said, what'd you do? He said, well, I didn't ask him. You fucking believe that?
Yeah.
I mean, I just shook my head, all in the bag. They're all in the bag. I mean, it defies logic. Their neighbors could be getting jobs. We haven't had a real wage increase in 18 years, which coincidentally aligns with how long Ryan's been in Congress. It just defies logic. So to answer the broader question that I don't know that you were really asking, you said, what do I think about 18? Nationally, I think there has been something ignited. I do think that with the internet being, given to ICANN control separate from the United States, I don't like that. I think if Hillary's in, it's going to be a lot different. I saw Milo's trying to get 4chan, so I think he's thinking ahead.
Yeah, we're working on
I don't know how well that'll do.
Well, thanks. I took enough of your time, but I just want to know that a lot of people admire your work. And if you do run again, our own media outlets are getting bigger than the hoaxing media. So trust me, it'll be a different media landscape in 2 years.
I love reading your tweets, man. Keep it up.
Thanks, Paul. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Take care, Mike. Bye.
All right, so there we go. Paul, talked to Paul Dillon. Everybody's got some kind of cold today, and what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? It's crazy. It's a crazy world out there now. We're going to make one final call, and then a Cernothon is going to be over. The final call of the night. Here we go. You ready? Last call of the night, and then we're going to go. I've already technically hit my 100,000. Last call. Lauren Feldman.
Hello.
Hey, Mike Cernovich from Danger Play Guerrilla Mindset. Who am I talking to?
You're with Lauren Feldman.
Lauren Feldman. And what is it that you do, Mr. Feldman?
I am a filmmaker and videographer. Currently, I'm working on something called Silence and War on Free Speech.
All right, we'll talk to them real quick. We got about 5 more minutes. What's going on Silence? How long is that going to be out? What's the schedule like? What's that movie?
We're in the final stages of post-production. We should be done within a couple of weeks. I've had some health issues that have just put us back a little bit by a week or two, but we should have this thing hopefully done in around 2 weeks.
And then what are we going to do when the film is done? Are we going to film festival it, or are we just going to release it right away?
Well, since you're the producer, that's kind of your choice. I'm not really concerned about film festivals. I don't really care about that kind of stuff. Whatever you decide. I think that we wanted to get to a widest audience as possible, I would think, right?
So potentially it might be out before the election.
Oh, yeah, I would think so. I would hope so, yeah.
All right, so we want to get this on. So what is Silenced about? What's the elevator pitch for Silenced?
Silenced is a film about the death of free speech in America and how we are doing it to ourselves. It's not the government censoring us. It's us censoring ourselves, not allowing discourse between regular American citizens. You see it with the campaign. Although the film is bigger than politics or the campaign, it's about how people are afraid to speak their mind, or how people are punished if they speak their mind on a wide range of subjects, whether it's men-women relations, politics, religion, et cetera, et cetera. It's basically how we become a self-censoring society.
Sounds good. So anybody cool? Who we interviewed for it?
We have all kinds of people in it, ranging from luminaries such as Alan Dershowitz and David Horowitz, old school kinds of guys, all the way down to regular men on the street. One of my favorite people in it is a gentleman by the name of Nestor Mendoza. He's a Mexican-American. He owns a car repair shop, and his point of view is just as important and vital as Dershowitz or anybody else. We have men, we have women, all religions, all types of people, gay people, straight people, black people, white people. We try to really get a good cross-section of America.
Great. Thanks for taking the time to talk.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, so that was filmmaker Lauren Feldman. So, wow. Today's Cernothon was great. We hit 100,000. It should have been 100,000 on one video only. Didn't happen. Periscope. Thanks for tuning in. Journalism, high-impact journalism. Patreon.com/Mike Cernovich. PayPal.me/Cernovich. All the money goes right out into making movies done. Movies like this Hillary one. Let's try to watch the Hillary one more time because it's a pretty...
They say turn your comments off because we can't see it.
Okay, so I'm going to turn the comments off. Hold on. I'm going to mute comments. Let's see if we can watch it real quick. So let's hide chat. All right, so chat's being hidden. Which is right here. All right, so let's see if we can watch Hillary's daddy. Let's watch Hillary's daddy. This is a good one. This is an exciting one. This is high impact. All right, so we're going to go flip the camera. Can you see it? There we go.
We've got to stand up against hate. We've got to stand up against terrorism.
It is long past time for the Saudis to stop funding extremist organizations.
It's called Pay for Play.